Good news, you're here just in time. Here's another Laneway Talks.
Welcome everybody to Laneway Talks. We're here today with Joey Amenta. Joey goes back many, many years and from what we know, starts from taste. But we're about to find out how he started in the industry and how he grew through it. And it is an amazing story, I'm sure. So, Joey.
Hello, Vince.
Let's start with, when did you start playing guitar?
I started playing guitar at the age of 9. My father, we went to a music store in Brunswick. Okay, so I turned 9 and I said in Italian, Papa, I wanted the drums. So I wanted drums. And I've got actually a drum kit that I play in my room, electronic kit. I just always loved that.
So do you play drums now, yeah?
Yeah, I play drums in my room.
Fantastic.
You know, but I just always loved in my heart drums, you know. As a kid, do you remember the huge ice cream containers they used to get from the gelato?
Yes.
The big, and I try and put Dad's, the things that were under the tyres, those, what they call the things that used to inflate, the tube.
Yeah.
Remember the tubes?
Yeah.
Now we have tubes. So we had tubes. So I would get the tubes and put holes in them and tie string and try and make drums. Never worked out.
Well, hold on. So we got the drums happening, but had you picked up a guitar yet?
Right, no, never. Had never seen a guitar, nothing, or seen a guitar. So we went to the shop, just turned 9, and we walk into this little shop called the old fella came out. He was about 80 plus.
This wasn't. Where was this, in Brunswick or North Melbourne?
Sydney Road, Brunswick.
Because my first kit came from the Alberti brothers in North Melbourne.
Okay, Vince. You know what? I haven't got there, but I'm about a year away here from Lamberti's. Okay, we're Sydney Road, Brunswick. The shop's like a milk bar. He came out. There's no drums, only guitars. And he said, "Look, I don't have drums because I can't. The shop's too small." So the guitar, my surname is Amenta. The guitar was called, the brand, inside the little hollow, the acoustic guitar I'd never touched one before, was Amina. And I went, look at that, that's like our name without a T. Dad said, look, you know, and he said, what do you think? And I went, oh. He goes, how do you feel about a guitar? And I went, oh. And I remember touching the strings, Vince. This is what got me. Turned me from drums completely. I remember going dong, 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 dong on the 4 strings. I'll just do it. My students just left and he played my guitar. I remember doing this, Vince. Did you hear that, man?
Yeah.
And I found it enchanting. The most incredible, echoey, spacey, beautiful sound I'd ever heard in my life. I said, Dad, let's get the guitar. It was $12.50.
So tell me, so you get the guitar, right?
I think as Dad's paying the $12.50 when the wage was $63 a week.
Yeah.
Dad's paying the $12.50. The man, Mr. Luff, hands me a card and says, this is the teacher you need to go to if you're serious. And that's where my journey began with the great Mr. Harry Shorten in Coburg. Vince, forgive me if I start crying because this guy was...
we know you're very emotional, but we don't want you to get emotional today. We want to hear this. We want to hear the story because we went to Lamberti's.
Dad rang Harry. He's in Coburg, Hudson Street, behind Coles, and anyway, he was there, and we went for the first lesson, and he was the Irish man. So I built up this amazing relationship over 4.5 years with Harry. He was the most incredible man. He used to do boxing, teach guitar, play guitar. He played at the Cross Keys Hotel.
Oh, oh, wow.
The Cross Keys Hotel every Sunday night for 15 years. He used to play the Hawaiian steel guitar, and with his mouth he'd do all this sort of, and people were just amazed at his feel, and he taught me feel.
Well, tell me something. We'll talk about Lamberti Brothers, but also I went to, my first lessons were in Swanson Street, right up the top end near the library. I forgot what it was called.
Dynacord, but before it was called Dynacord, it was called something else.
Yeah, it was an Italian guy owned it anyway.
Yes,
and
not Tupano, not Lou Tupano?
Yeah, Lou Tupano, that was it. Tupano's, yeah. We started there, and then I went to Campbell Junction, to Junction Music. And, I learned there. But, I mean, my dad was very encouraging with music. He was a clarinet player.
So he knew Vince.
And he was very, very encouraging with it.
Yeah, so was mine.
And there you go. It's what I wanted to ask. And I think when you get that kind of love and affection towards music, I think it can be inbuilt into you. It's ingrained because it's from such an early age.
It is. Look, Vince, as you know, my love for old Mustangs and music is in my DNA.
Yeah.
People say, "Oh, these cars," and go, "Oh, mate, you don't." It's something I can't. I don't have to talk about.
Well, tell me. So you've got your first guitar. You've started learning. Do we? Yeah, go on. What were you going to say?
Yeah, well, I've started learning, and I've gone, my uncle used to drive me there once a week, and then I got a little bit older. Vince, remember, I was 9 when I started.
Yeah.
Got to about 11, I started catching the train there, and we got to around 13, and he said, look, go, off you go, I've given you what I need to give you.
Yeah.
The rest you need to go. And I remember after 5 years of lessons, Vince, I didn't know how to play a 12-bar rhythm yet. I hadn't discovered.
Really?
I hadn't discovered the old Batman.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there just by chance at home after school one day. Just sitting there, and I was looking at. It was a Saturday morning actually, and it was the old Happening 70 on TV, the old TV show.
So that's before my time. Before my time. So you're older than
me. But you
me.
kind of remember the name. They had Billy Thorpe on live,
yes,
Vince.
Yeah.
They had Billy Thorpe on live, right? And he's playing the bar chords, and he's taking all his fingers off, and he's going. So doing the first hit open, and then hitting the chord.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there in between hot dogs that Mum's just made me.
Yeah.
And Saturday morning, she used to make me hot dogs. And I'm sitting there and I've closed, and he's got his eyes closed. I've closed my eyes, and I've played that. And I went, oh, my good golly gosh, this is where it's at. The next week after, I saw Molly Meldrum interview John Fogerty. Right, Vince?
Yes.
Now, you know who John Fogerty is, Creedence.
Yes.
Now, John Fogerty said, can I, Molly, I'm going to do a Molly now. Can I, a bit of a mumble, can I ask you a question? When you play guitar, what are you thinking about? Because that song, Keep On Chugling, goes for 11 minutes and you've got your eyes closed. And he goes, this is what he said, Vince. He goes, I'm thinking about, damn, I got to mow my lawn at home. My lawn's so long, man. I gotta get myself a new pair of shoes.
Well,
so you know what I did, Vince? I grabbed my guitar, closed my eyes, and I started thinking about school or something, and I noticed that there was a different kind of feeling to when you were really concentrating, and it was the feeling, the feel. Then the last thing I reckon that did it for me, Vince, before I ventured into the world of professional music.
Yeah.
The last thing my uncle bought, the little tiny record players.
Oh.
My uncle bought an album, Herb Albert and the Tijuana Brass.
Oh.
And I played. You remember the Lonely Bull?
Well, I only remember it on the Jerry Lewis movies.
Yeah, it's like, and I remember sitting there with the speaker on this tiny little turntable right next to my head, sitting there after school again and paying attention, and I could feel the feeling that this guy was putting into the trumpet, and I said to myself, I need to put that same feeling into my fingers because I don't have breath like this guy. This guy's doing it from his mouth. I need to do that with my fingers. And I reckon that was the start.
So what was your first band?
Right. So my first band was around that area called friends from school called Sierra Hayes, which meant Misty Mountain.
Oh.
That was my very first band. And we played at a place called Little St. Remo Hall in Lygon Street,
I know that. It's still going now.
Yeah, still going now. And we supported a band, Vince, who are on TV, who are my superheroes, called Cloud 9.
Oh, yeah, well, I remember that, and I remember the album, Cloud 9.
You remember the album?
Yeah, it was an album. Was it an EP or?
Yeah, an album. Cloud9, We're All Good Friends, so on.
So you weren't on that album?
No, I joined after Tony Faramond. I took over Tony Faramond, Maltese fella, great guitar player, now lives in Perth.
Yeah.
Awesome guy, left. I was wagging school and in a music shop across the road to the Grove, near Moreland High School there on Sydney Road. I was there in the shop, and my friend Roger, who went to Moreland High, was there, who was here yesterday, who became our city. Anyway, Roger was there. In walks Ken Murdoch from Cloud9. I'm 15 years of age. This guy's got black nail polish on, bracelets from here to Timbuktu, eyeliner, and I've just gone, holy.
Now, where's this, 74?
No, 73, 74. Yes.
Do you know, and the first time I did see something with Cloud9 too was not the album or the EP, whatever it was, but they'd been down at Music Junction and they had a truck, their equipment truck to do gigs.
Yeah, right. They used to call it Pugsley, the white truck.
And it had Cloud9 written all over. And I thought, gee,
and the famous Virgil. Virgil and Michael, they used to go around the city after midnight spraying Cloud9 everywhere.
Oh, really?
From paint cans.
So the Cloud9, you weren't on that. So therefore, what happened? You met Ken Murdoch. Is that when?
Okay, I've got to tell you, this is amazing. So he walks into the shop, and Roger knew him. And he goes, Emil, to the guy who owned the guitar repair shop. He goes, Emil, can I just put up a poster, that thing on the windows, we're looking for a guitar player? And he goes, yeah. He starts writing this thing, a guitar player. And on the end, he puts no S-H-I-T, please. He writes, no shit, please, mate. And Roger goes, hey, Ken, Joe here plays. And I had the purple St. Joseph's uniform, which is another story. Dad sent me to St. Joseph's in North Melbourne because I was a naughty boy. High school, and so he cracked it. Yeah. Anyway, so I'm not at school, am I? Then no, I'm in the music shop. Yeah. And Roger, and he looks me up and down, and he goes, "You," and I go, "Yeah," and he goes, "Emil, can you grab a guitar?" And I go, "Yeah, grab a guitar." Grab the guitar. At the time, it was "Baby, Please Don't Go By Us," it was number one on the free wide charts.
Yep.
So I played the whole lot, even where he puts his hand up and goes, I even sang it. I go, I can sing Bond's part. And I said, "Baby, don't go. I must leave there." So I did all this. Yeah. He goes, "Emil, can I use your phone?" And he rang Michael Tortoni, who was the eldest. He was the eldest in the band. He was 17. He was the eldest in the band. Yeah. They were Ken and Virgil was 16. Anyway, he rings me and goes, "Hey, Mike, I found the guy. I found actually he's a kid, but I found him. He's really good." Michael goes, "Put him on the phone." So I get on the phone, Vince, and I go, hey, I'm the man you're looking for, buddy. I can sing, I can play, and I'm pretty good looking, pal. And he goes, "Hey, with what you just said, how you just spoke to me, you got the gig."
So Sierra Leone got the flick?
Sierra A's got the flick, and they gave me the good wishes. Dad met me at St. Joseph's to speak to Brother Wright. We used to call him Lefty. Yeah. To speak to Brother Wright upstairs, and Brother Wright gave me the, "Oh, well, if you need to come back," I'm like, "Yeah, no worries. See you later, Jack."
Well,
Dad left for work. I skipped out of St. Joseph's, North Melbourne. I looked behind me, and the room upstairs were all my mates in my class standing there looking at me, going, "Yeah, go for it." I caught that tram on Elizabeth Street for the very last time, Vince. I jumped on that tram and I go, "This is the last time I get on this tram. Next week I'm going to be rehearsing." The week later we supported Susie Quattro Festival Hall. Can I tell you what happened there? I'm probably cutting a bit.
Yeah, go on.
Can I tell you what happened at Festival Hall, Vince?
No, go on.
So I've been rehearsing for 2 weeks, and off we go to Festival Hall. They've just got me. We went to Hoddle Street and got outfitted with Adidas shoes and Anco jeans.
Staggers.
And all this stuff. Right, Staggers, man, Fabergé. I had all this stuff, and we rock up, and at Festival Hall, I've got my guitar on. We're about to go on. The place is filling up. Support band. I'm standing there. It's black. I'm looking into the audience, and the roadie, torches everywhere, and the roadie nudge, and I'm like, I look at this guy, and he goes, "Come on, man." And I'm like, "What?" And he goes, "Come on." I'm like, "Go on to where?" And he goes, "There, over there, mate, the stage. Get on there." And I've gone, Jesus, okay, here I go. So we're on the stage, Vince. I think I was shaking.
You've rehearsed, though, haven't you? You rehearsed.
Yeah, for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
2 weeks we'd rehearsed hard, heavy, yeah, full on. And so I kind of knew my stuff. I didn't know much on the guitar, kind of fumbled. Anyway, I knew.
Hold on. What guitar were you playing?
So we went and bought a Gibson Les Paul from Merv Cargill. From Merv Cargill in Curran.
Talk about a lucky boy.
Well, Dad had bought me another long story. A friend of ours went to England, and he came back and bought me a Fender Stratocaster, which was horrible.
So
we traded that in with Merv, and then he wanted, I think it was $200. The boys wrote him a check for $200 that actually bounced, and so if James, Merv's son's, listening to this, I'm in deep trouble.
Yeah.
I owe you a couple of $100, mate. Hey, with interest.
Oh, God.
That'll be. Hey, anyway, Vince.
So it was a Les Paul, what colour?
Les Paul, beautiful, thick, custom, sunburst custom, the real deal, not, and it was a couple of years old. I was about a 72 Les Paul. Anyway, I'm playing away, and I was so nervous and stiff, and my body was, and I turned around, and somehow, Vince, I went to do a solo. I went to the middle of the stage.
Yeah.
I saw there wasn't a lot of room, and I got caught. I tripped over myself, and I ended up on my bum.
Oh, you're kidding?
No, but I tried to make it look like that I was still playing the guitar. And I have met so many people through these years, Vince, that say, hey, man, I saw you supporting Susie Quattro. I really love that act you do where you fall on your bum.
Yeah.
And I go, it wasn't an act. I go, what?
Well, it's funny how you got into Cloud Nine. I was talking to Helen from Do Re Mi, and she joined Do Re Mi, or, got in the band. She went into a venue, and she was underage anyway. She'd never played bass, and someone said, we're looking for a bass player. She goes, I play bass.
And she started.
They go, you're in. I said, I can't believe that. I said, how did you learn? Anyway, it's funny how it comes along, and
it comes up,
and it writes your signature on your career.
It's incredible, isn't it? But it's funny you saying she was underage. I tried to get into. I really wanted to see Daddy Cool.
Yeah.
And they were at the Croxton Park Hotel High Street.
Oh, yeah, I know it well.
And I thought, I tried to go in, and a guy who was a bouncer there was a good friend of mine now, Otto. He plays guitar as well. Otto, a good friend. He was there, and I tried, and he's gone, hey, where do you reckon you're going? I go, I was about 15. I just wanted to see, the band. He goes, get out of here. About 2 months later, I walked in with my guitar, didn't I, Ben?
Really? Cloud Nine? Cloud Nine.
I walk with my guitar, and I go, Otto was there, and I go, hey, tell me to leave now. He goes, smart ass, get in there.
So tell me.
Did the gig. Listen to this. Hang on, Vince. I did the gig.
Yeah.
He came up to me. He goes, hey, dude. He goes, you can play guitar, huh? You can play that thing, man. He goes, I play this. We've been friends. I've played them since that day. We've been good.
Well, tell me, what songs were Cloud Nine playing? Were they playing Taste songs, or were they?
No, these all playing Get It On, Bang and Gone.
Oh, right, gotcha.
And they're playing some original stuff. Ding, 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 ding. Come on, girl, get yourself
Well, what changed from Cloud Nine to Taste?
Me. So I joined. And then they went, okay, we've got a live one here. We need to change the name.
Right.
And we need to get serious. So Peter's Ice Cream were going to use us on an ad, and they said, you got to have something to do with the name, right, Peter? And we're all sitting around, we're going, ice cream, taste, ice cream stick, ice cream. Meanwhile, I've got Rory Gallagher's book open.
Yeah, well, I was going to say to you, you're copying Rory.
Yeah, you know, Steve. Yeah, you know. You already know what I'm going to say. So I've got Rory Gallagher's book open, and I've gone, taste. And the manager's gone, Chris Nolan. He's gone, what? And I go, oh, Rory Gallagher's band was called Taste. He goes, oh, it's called, are they still together? I go, oh, no. Rory Gallagher likes Scotch too much for them to be together. And he goes, all right, let's call the band Taste. That's it.
And that was it?
That was it, and we never did the commercial.
Oh, fantastic. So hold on a minute. You've changed your name to Taste, right?
Yeah. We're on Ron Tudor's label. Vince, we're on Ron Tudor's label.
Yeah.
Fable.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Then we went to Polygram. But what were you going to ask, Ben?
Well, I was going to say, so we then move into, being Taste. What kind of crowds were you pulling at that stage? Was it only 100 or so, or were you up to the 200, 300?
No, at the start was 100.
Yeah.
And then a couple of years later, we were doing 800 in Preston Town Hall, St. Peter's dancing in Bentley. We used to do St. Peter's, us and Avalanche.
But hold on, but that was after you'd released the first Taste record?
That was after, yeah.
Because Tickle Your Fancy, did it go top 20 or top 10?
Top 10.
Right.
Tickle Your Fancy went top 20.
Yeah.
Boys Will Be Boys went top 10.
Right.
A couple of the others. But I was never into that. And as you know, I'm not quite understand numbers. But I'll tell you one thing that I do understand. My uncle wrote Tickle Your Fancy, and the original, so it went, we're ace, fast pace, ahead of the race, and we tickle my uncle wrote it, we're queens, blah, 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 blah. So it had that kind of flavour, so we changed the route.
Well, we always thought, at the time, as a young guy, because I'm a lot younger than you. So anyway, we used to think you were a bit of a Black Sabbath. There was Buffalo that were Black Sabbath, but we always thought you were in that vein too.
Me personally?
No, the band, and you might go, well, no way, we were a glam band, but we used to see you more as a heavy. That first record,
and that's how I wanted to be. And there was sort of always this kind of thing, pull towards that or pull towards this or, it was never really concrete what we really were.
That's a very important point that you make there, because I agree with you 100%. It was hard trying to work out on that record, really, were you leaning towards a pop rock band?
Yeah, your pop band is, and you know what, Vince? I can't believe we're talking about this, because the first time in my life I thought about this, a couple of weeks, maybe a week, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I thought, I didn't want to really do that. I wanted to be like AC/DC.
Yeah.
I used to, on my way home, from when I got my licence, I turned 18. I'd say, Academic, because we were mates, Academic playing at the council club, which is now Richie's. And I'd stop and I'd look at him, and Angus would see me, he'd jump on the roadie's freaking shoulders and come straight up. But I used to think, I want to be doing that,
Yeah.
And by the way, Hank started with a Les Paul, but because he's so little, he couldn't handle Les Paul, so he got an SG. And that's how that was born.
Oh, really? Really?
That's how the SG come along. Yeah, for those people who think he planned it all.
Well,
go on, man.
Well, I was going to say, that's a very interesting point, trying to work out what you were, because by the time you'd gotten to that second record, and we know what happened, the band was faltering by then or whatever, but it was a completely different and the record had no direction. At least the first record did have some direction.
The other one had no direction. I agree with you. I always wanted to see the band like how you and your mate saw it, Vince, as a Black Sabbath type.
Yeah.
But it was caught between that pop, because I think Ken.
Well, Ken's very poppy, isn't he?
And he really loves that.
Yeah.
That whole showbiz, and he really wanted to make it. And I just wanted to play guitar and hang around with girls. Not well.
Well, we don't discuss any of that on here. It's a woke world, Joey, and you need to learn to live with it, because you can't discuss anything like that. Anyway, so therefore, you get to that. What happens in that second record? Is it everybody's infighting, and it's all because you are a big band by that stage?
Yeah. Well, we sort of Virgil's gonna. Yeah, there's a bit of infight, and his father and my father got together and said, blah, 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 and, they're...
So you had your fathers who were really interested in the career. Oh my God! Yeah. That spells disaster, don't you?
Oh, man. Well, hey, what happened? We split up. So it spelled disaster.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Could you imagine if you had have continued? You just because you never know, because it was a band full of talent, really talented musicians.
Well, 3 months after we split up, Cashbox and Billboard magazine rated us as one of that we were up and coming. We were going to be one of the biggest bands in the world, and we were really Queen-esque.
Yes.
And we were going to tour with Queen.
Yeah, I suppose.
And all this stuff on Billboard. And we split up 3 months before.
Yeah, you look at that and go, what the hell's going on here? Oh, my God. So what happened? You split up. What happened? Did you just go into hibernation for a couple of months or a year, or did you get straight back up and play?
Yeah, well, I went on to hibernation. I joined Red House for about a year.
Red House, another
Red House, and I went and lived in Geelong. And I went there. Anyway, I went to Geelong and I did all that. And then I left, and then that's about, and I was walking down, I was kind of, what am I going to do? I was walking up Chapel Street, and, Bill Putt, that passed away from Spectrum. Bill Putt, Billy goes, hey, what are you doing? I go, sort of, he goes, Russell Morris arrived yesterday, give me your number. I'll get him to ring you. So that night I'm having dinner at eating half spaghetti, at about 6:30 the phone rings, and it's freaking Russell Morris.
Really?
Oh, this is the guy who used to watch it. Come in. I'm like, it's freaking, I'm talking to Russell Morris. I'm like, oh, my God. He goes, so where can I see you play? And I go, well, it's a Tuesday night. My mates in Fat Daddy, Texas they were called. My mates in Texas.
Were you playing in Texas?
No, my mates were playing at Bombay Rock.
Oh, yeah, gotcha, yeah.
I said, he's gone, where can I see you play? I said, well, why don't you come to Brunswick tonight at 9 o'clock? And he goes, all right, I'll see you there. And he walks in. I go, oh, how you going, blah, blah, blah. I go, all right. So I jumped on stage with him, and I did a couple of, up in the morning and up to school, a couple of chuckles, blah, blah, blah. And he come down, he goes, mate, he goes, you got the gig. He goes, here's a cassette. He goes, I'll pick you up in 2 weeks, and we'll go to Sydney and join the rest of the band.
So this was Russell Morris on the Rubes?
Yeah. So there I was, bang. Off I was. That was early, man. And then after that, all the other stuff happened. After that.
Well, hold on. What do you mean, what other stuff happened after that?
Oh, all the other bands, like, forming Wendy and the Rockets, Well,
what happened? I mean, I kind of say, how did you enjoy that 20-year period? Because what you became was the hired hand, really.
Yeah.
You didn't become the band member as such. You were the hired hand.
Yeah.
Every time I looked, I go,
I was playing with someone else.
Yes, there he is again.
Well, you know what?
He's playing.
Yeah, well,
I remember you played with Daryl Cotton. Did you play with Daryl Cotton?
You got Daryl Cotton for 3 years.
Little Red Rooster, wasn't it?
Little Red Book. I played with him for 3 years, God bless his soul.
Yeah.
And Vince, you know how I really enjoyed it, doing all of that. But then I realised that sort of at the end of it that I missed out on maybe doing something like a Gary Moore.
Yeah.
I could have. Yeah. I wish,
Yeah.
I mentioned those other silly things before mucking around, but I wish I was more serious.
Yeah, look, there was...
sometimes I wish I had been more serious, like, say, Verge or something, Yeah. I mean, that's serious to see.
I mean, Virgil went straight... Now, where did he go after Taste? He didn't...
Straight to the...
Yeah, he went to 1920... Not 1927. Southern Sons in the... That was the late 80s.
But before Southern Sons, he was playing in King Street with... the Jack Jones playing Van Halen sort of thing.
And he done the Doug Parkinson too, didn't he? Network. I remember Network.
Did a lot of other stuff, playing on TV with Tina, and things like he played on I'm in Chains, Tina's first single, and all that. And then he went, you know what? He goes, I'm a serious dude here. I better shit. Yeah. And if you're serious, even the actors,
you got to go to America.
Come on, man. Come on.
Yeah.
And I wanted to hang out with my mates, drive V8 cars, and I would still want to do.
I think that you were so busy. You never were out without a gig that it becomes difficult because money's always coming in. You're always playing. You put your hand out. I did the gig tonight. Where's my money? Whereas then how do you come away from that and go, right, I'm actually going to earn nothing for quite a while here because I'm going to pursue my career. Career, me.
Well, you know how I did that, Vince? I chopped out of that and I got into weddings and I started doing weddings.
And money was rolling in.
Money was rolling in. I did weddings for 10 years.
Yeah.
And then it's sort of a bit of a lull again and stopped doing that and doing it, of course, the teaching.
Yeah.
But now I'm playing in an original, we're back to the start where there's no money.
Yeah.
and I'm just loving it. Because the songs are really good, really good songs.
Well,
and they're,
do you ever think that, well, do I have to have a band? Why can't I just play on my own? And
I love that acoustic-y stuff. I love that too.
And that's there too, because it gives you a second dimension to your career.
Yes.
You got the band, and you've got just Joey Amenta playing acoustic guitar, whether it be slide guitar or whatever. And because you're a vocalist too, then you've got the third dimension, which you're very lucky to have, because a lot of a lot of guitarists don't have it. They're not singers.
Well, Vince, like when I came and saw Chris Turner, I say his name again.
Cletus Carr.
Sorry, Cletus. I love. He's such a beautiful man, and so talented. Look at that. That was so enjoyable watching him play acoustic and.
Oh, look, and live. I think Live's So Short. Or went to see a band member of ours, Fabio Versace, and Fabio. Used to play in several bands. We got quite a few albums out of his, and he's contracted Parkinson's disease. And we were talking on the weekend, and he goes, "I can't sing anymore." And he goes, "But I can do what is it when you sing the high notes?
Falsetto.
Yeah, falsetto." Yeah. And he goes, "Look, I can do that. So if you're doing Beach Boys backup vocals, he can do it, but he can't sing anymore." And it kind of brought home to me how quickly things can change. We're in the danger zone in our age, so it's really about being as creative as we can and producing as much as you can. Because
that's why I'm in a really happy place, Vince, because I'm doing that now.
I think your guitar playing is very unique to you. So therefore you can put your stamp on it, and so and I mean, and as we talked for 20 years or whatever, you might have played in 20 bloody bands for all I know, and I think it was that many. And then I think I said to you, "Well, where's all your original recordings?" You go, "I haven't got it. I haven't got it."
That's right.
Here you go. I've got this cassette, and it's because you've been so busy playing with everybody else, you haven't written your own songs.
No, correct.
So
it's funny, isn't it?
Well, and I think you got the opportunity now to do it, and it's a different world. And this band is fantastic. And so, and when are we going to hear some finished product from this band?
Yeah, well, it's on the way very, very soon. Very soon.
But you tell me that every year.
I know. They've got some stuff on YouTube. There's only one clip, the one that I sent you with me.
Yes.
But they've got some stuff prior. But these guys are really hard workers. David Kimboli and Walter Zamura, the bass player and singer, really hard work. Dave's a great story. Dave's father, Robert Trimboli, had music shops in Sydney Road, Brunswick.
Oh, yeah.
And Dave was in Manpower.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He's one of those bodybuilders.
Yeah. They're amazing guy, so he knows the stage, We haven't done our first gig yet, but I'm going to try and get you to our first gig, but we'll see how we go. Hey, Vince, I've got to get going because I've got a lady that comes and does some singing at 2 o'clock.
Right. And for all our audience, this is typical with Joey. You get him for half an hour if you're lucky, and if he says he's going to call you, he never does. But anyway, it's been good talking to you.
Vince, I love you.
And we'll talk to you soon.
I really enjoyed. Hey, I hope people enjoy the story.
Well, it'll be up soon. Okay, see you, Joey.
All right.
Bye.
See you, Vince.
Bye.
Bye, Vince.
Well, there you have it. Another Laneway Talks. If you enjoyed that, just search Laneway Talks for more great conversations.
G'day folks, Mark Allen here and
the Ox, David Schwartz.
And we've started a brand new podcast called
A Couple of Blokes, A Couple of Beers, and we're just chewing the fat.
Couple of blokes, couple of beers with Ox and Marco.
I'm thinking about whitening my teeth just so when I smile.
There's a new episode every Wednesday.
Have you got a weight issue?
Of course I do. It's a stupid loaded question.
A Couple of Blokes, Couple of Beers with David Schwartz and Mark Allen.
I'm eating the kids' Maltese.
You're eating their Christmas present.
I am a piece of garbage.
Listen wherever you get your podcasts.